I was packing my belongings in my Stanford University dorm room, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride as I gazed at my acceptance letter framed on the wall. My dream of becoming a biomedical engineer, creating prosthetics for children with disabilities, was finally within reach. I thought the hardest part was getting accepted. I was wrong. My phone buzzed with 20 missed calls from mom, and I knew something was terribly wrong. Before I tell you how my family tried to sabotage my future for my twin sister, let me know in the comments where you are watching from and whether you have ever been the underdog in your own family. Smash that like button if you believe hard work should matter more than favoritism, and subscribe because this story proves that sometimes fighting your own family is the only way to save yourself. My name is Denise, and I have an identical twin sister named Celeste. We are 19 years old, but that is where our similarities end. Our father, Marcus, works as an engineering contractor. He is practical but shows clear favoritism towards Celeste. Our mother, Patricia, is a real estate agent who is obsessed with appearances and social status. From childhood, Celeste was treated like a princess. She was prettier, more outgoing, and became homecoming queen during our senior year. Everyone always commented on how naturally gifted she was, how effortlessly she attracted friends and attention. I was the quieter twin, more studious, and constantly compared unfavorably to my sister. Our family had an unspoken motto that seemed to guide every decision: Celeste has natural gifts, Denise has to work harder. During our senior year of high school, the differences in how our parents treated us became even more apparent during college preparation. They hired an expensive college consultant for Celeste, someone who charged $300 per hour to help craft the perfect applications and essays. Meanwhile, I spent countless hours researching colleges on my own, working after school at a local grocery store to save money for application fees. Celeste set her sights on Ivy League schools. She expected our parents to pay full tuition wherever she decided to attend. Harvard, Yale, and Princeton were her top choices, and our dinner conversations revolved entirely around her college plans. When I mentioned applying to 11 different schools, including several safety options with strong engineering programs, I received polite nods and dismissive comments. Every achievement I earned was met with a casual, "That is nice, honey," while Celeste's accomplishments received elaborate celebrations. When she made varsity cheerleading squad, our parents threw a party. When I won the regional science fair with my biomedical engineering project, they forgot to attend the ceremony because they were shopping for Celeste's homecoming dress. March arrived with college acceptance notifications, and everything changed overnight. I received my acceptance letter from Stanford University along with a full-ride scholarship covering tuition, room, and board. The financial aid package was incredible, worth over $200,000 across 4 years. I was ecstatic, but my family's reaction was far from what I expected. Celeste, on the other hand, received rejection letters from Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. She was only accepted to Boston University, which was a good school, but not the prestige she had been counting on. The contrast between our results created an immediate tension in our household. When I shared my Stanford news during dinner, the table fell into shocked silence. Marcus stared at the acceptance letter as if it might be fake. "Are you sure this is not some mistake?" he asked, examining the official seal and signature. Patricia immediately started talking about logistics, but not in a celebratory way. "Stanford is so far from home," she said, her voice filled with concern. "Celeste will be lonely without you." That night, Celeste locked herself in her room and refused to come down for dinner. Through the walls, I could hear her crying and throwing things around. Our parents spent the entire evening trying to console her, bringing her favorite foods and promising that everything would work out. The first red flag appeared the next morning when my parents suggested I reconsider my decision to attend Stanford. They claimed it would be better for me to stay closer to family, especially since Celeste needed support during this difficult time. I was confused by their reaction but remained firm in my decision, not yet understanding how serious their interference would become. The week following my acceptance announcement, Patricia launched what I can only describe as an emotional manipulation campaign. Every morning, she would find reasons to mention how Celeste had not eaten properly since hearing my news. She would sigh dramatically while preparing breakfast and comment about how worried she was about Celeste's mental health. Marcus joined the effort, approaching me with what he called practical concerns. "Families should stick together," he would say during our conversations. "Stanford can wait a year. Celeste needs time to regroup and reapply to better schools." He made it sound like deferring my education was the logical, mature decision. Our grandparents were quickly mobilized into the campaign. Grandma Rose started calling me daily to discuss family unity and the importance of supporting each other during difficult times. She would tell stories about how her generation always put family needs above individual desires, making me feel selfish for wanting to pursue my own education. Celeste played the victim role expertly. She would have crying fits whenever I was around, dramatically stating things like, "I cannot live without my twin," and "we have never been separated before." She would time these emotional outbursts perfectly, usually when our parents were within earshot, ensuring maximum impact. The pressure intensified during our extended family Easter dinner. All of our aunts and uncles seemed to echo the same message about family loyalty and sticking together. Aunt Sarah mentioned how she'd given up a job opportunity to stay near her sister during a difficult period. Uncle Mike talked about the importance of twins supporting each other through life's challenges. I started doubting myself, wondering if I really was being selfish. The constant messaging from everyone I had grown up trusting was taking its toll. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should consider staying local for a year to help Celeste through this transitional period. The manipulation became more sophisticated when my parents discovered I would need money for dorm deposits and textbook expenses. Despite my full scholarship, there were still several $1,000s in upfront costs that needed to be covered before the semester began. Marcus suddenly claimed that their finances were tight. "We spent so much money on Celeste's college applications and consultant fees," he explained. "The budget is stretched thin right now." Patricia suggested that if I stayed local and attended community college for my first 2 years, they could afford to help both of their daughters financially. The double standard became even more obvious when Celeste received a brand new Honda Civic to cheer her up during this difficult time. The car was worth $25,000, far more than my dorm deposit and textbook costs combined. When I pointed out this inconsistency, my parents claimed the car was a necessary investment, since Celeste would need reliable transportation for college. My parents began delaying the signing of my FAFSA forms, claiming they were still reviewing all available options and wanted to make sure they were making the best financial decisions for the family. This delay threatened my financial aid package, and I realized their hesitation was intentional. I took a part-time job at Target to earn money independently, working evening shifts and weekends to save up for my college expenses. Family dinners became battlefields where silent treatments alternated with emotional outbursts. The atmosphere in our home became increasingly toxic. In May, I discovered that my parents had been contacting Stanford admissions office, pretending to ask innocent questions about deferral policies and gap year options. My admissions counselor called me directly to confirm some information, and that is when I learned about these mysterious parent calls that had been happening behind my back. Celeste eventually admitted that our parents had asked her what it would take to make me change my mind about attending Stanford. She revealed that they had been strategizing together, discussing different approaches to convince me to stay home. The betrayal cut deeply, because I realized my own sister was actively working against my future. Our home environment became completely toxic. There were constant arguments with my parents, treating me like I was being unreasonable for wanting to attend one of the best universities in the country on a full scholarship. Celeste began having fake health issues, claiming she was too stressed to eat or sleep properly. The situation escalated when my parents threatened to kick me out of the house if I did not come to my senses about Stanford. They made it clear that continuing with my college plans would result in complete loss of family support. One afternoon, I discovered a hidden camera in my bedroom. My parents had been monitoring my phone calls and text messages, trying to gather information about my college preparations and communications with Stanford staff. This violation of privacy was a breaking point that showed me how far they were willing to go. The emotional damage was severe. I started having anxiety attacks and questioning my self-worth. The people who were supposed to support me unconditionally were actively trying to sabotage the biggest opportunity of my life. June arrived with college orientation just 2 weeks away, and I made a discovery that revealed the full extent of my family's betrayal. While looking for important documents in my father's office, I found legal paperwork that showed my parents had contacted a family lawyer about the possibility of an educational guardianship transfer. The documents revealed that Marcus had forged my signature on a Stanford deferral request, attempting to postpone my enrollment without my knowledge. When I confronted him about this, he claimed he was protecting me from making a mistake I would regret later in life. Even worse, I discovered that Patricia had emptied my savings account, taking money I had earned from my part-time job that was specifically designated for college expenses. She had transferred nearly $3,000 into a separate account that I could not access. Celeste finally revealed the full truth during a heated argument. "They promised me That if you stayed home, they would pay for my graduate school applications next year, she admitted. You do not need their money anyway since you have that scholarship. Her selfishness was breathtaking, but it helped me understand the financial motivations behind my parents' behavior. The most shocking revelation came when I learned that my parents had been planning to use my scholarship money somehow to fund Celeste's backup educational plans. They had consulted with financial advisors about whether scholarship funds could be redirected or if there were ways to access that money for other family members. My parents had even scheduled an intervention with a family therapist planning to have me declared mentally unstable for refusing to consider their demands. They had prepared a case arguing that my insistence on attending Stanford despite family objections showed poor judgment and emotional instability. This moment of complete betrayal was devastating. I realized that my family viewed me as disposable, someone whose future could be sacrificed for Celeste's comfort and opportunities. They had been willing to commit fraud and destroy my chances rather than accept that I had earned something she had not. I secretly contacted my high school counselor, Mrs. Kim, who helped me understand my legal rights and options for financial independence. She connected me with resources for students dealing with family interference and gave me information about emergency support services. The Stanford Dean of Students' office provided comprehensive guidance when I explained my situation. They assured me that my enrollment was secure and that they had experience helping students navigate family conflicts. They offered emergency housing options and connected me with campus support services. I began documenting everything, recording conversations where my parents discussed their plans and photographing the forged documents I had discovered. Mrs. Kim helped me understand that some of their actions constituted fraud and that I had legal recourse if necessary. A backup plan came together when my friend Madison's family offered me temporary housing until I could leave for Stanford. They understood my situation and provided a safe place where I could finish my preparations without interference. I accelerated my work schedule at Target and researched emergency loan options to cover my remaining expenses. The financial independence felt empowering, knowing I could support myself without relying on my family's manipulation tactics. The final confrontation happened during what my parents called a family meeting. I presented all the evidence of their fraudulent activities, including the forged deferral request and the theft of my savings account money. Marcus became defensive and angry. "We are your parents," he shouted. "We know what is best for you even when you are too young and stubborn to see it." He insisted that their actions were motivated by love and concern for my future. Patricia tried one last manipulation attempt, claiming that I was destroying our family by refusing to compromise. "You are tearing us apart," she said through fake tears. "How can you be so selfish when your sister needs support?" Celeste revealed her true colors during this meeting. "You do not deserve what I cannot have," she said with shocking honesty. "It is not fair that you got into Stanford when I am the one who has always been special." Her entitlement was complete and unapologetic. I delivered a powerful declaration that I had been preparing for weeks. "You chose favoritism over fairness, manipulation over love, and control over my future," I told them. "You have already destroyed this family by treating your daughters as competitors instead of individuals who both deserve support." That afternoon, I moved out of our house with my essential belongings. Madison's parents helped me transport my things and provided emotional support during this difficult transition. I consulted with a lawyer who confirmed that my parents' actions constituted fraud and interference with my education. We filed for a restraining order to prevent any further attempts to sabotage my college enrollment. Stanford's administration confirmed that my enrollment was completely secure and that they would provide emergency housing assistance to ensure I could attend orientation and begin my freshman year without any complications. Justice came swiftly once I took legal action against my parents. Stanford University's administration provided comprehensive support, offering not just emergency housing but also connections to campus counseling services and peer mentorship programs. They had dealt with similar family conflicts before and knew exactly how to protect students in my situation. The legal consequences for my parents were serious. Fraud charges were filed regarding the forged documents and theft of my savings account. A court order froze their access to any funds they had taken from me, and they were required to repay the money with interest. Celeste faced her own reality check when Boston University discovered complications with her financial aid applications related to the family legal issues. Her enrollment was delayed while the school investigated the situation, and she ended up having to defer her admission for a full year. Extended family members learned the truth about what had really happened, and many withdrew their support from my parents. Aunt Sarah apologized for pressuring me during Easter dinner, admitting she had not understood the full situation. Several relatives reached out to offer their support and congratulations on my Stanford acceptance. My vindication was complete when I not only maintained my full scholarship, but was also recognized as an honor student during orientation week. The academic advisors were impressed by my determination and resilience in overcoming family obstacles to pursue my education. My freshman year brought significant challenges as I learned to navigate college life while processing the trauma of family betrayal. Loneliness was a constant companion during those first few months as I had to build an entirely new support system from scratch. However, the Stanford community embraced me completely. My academic advisor connected me with counseling services specifically designed for students dealing with family estrangement. The therapy sessions helped me work through feelings of guilt and abandonment while building healthy boundaries. I found my chosen family through my engineering study group, a diverse group of students who became my closest friends and support system. We studied together, celebrated achievements together, and provided emotional support during difficult times. These relationships taught me what healthy family dynamics actually look like. The academic success that followed was remarkable. I made the dean's list for 3 consecutive semesters and gained admission to competitive research programs, typically reserved for upperclassmen. My professors recognized my work ethic and determination, offering me opportunities to assist with cutting-edge biomedical engineering projects. Today, as a junior majoring in biomedical engineering with a grade point average of 3.9, I am exactly where I always dreamed of being. My internship with a medical device company has already resulted in my name being listed on a patent application for an innovative prosthetic design. My family situation has evolved in ways I never expected. I maintain limited contact with some extended relatives who apologize for their role in the pressure campaign and acknowledge that my parents' behavior was wrong. However, I have had no contact with my immediate family. Marcus, Patricia, and Celeste chose pride over reconciliation. They have never apologized or acknowledged the damage they caused, instead maintaining that they were justified in their actions. Celeste's life took a different trajectory than anyone expected. She dropped out of college after 1 semester, unable to handle the academic pressure without the constant validation she had received at home. She currently lives with our parents and has no clear direction for her future. The perspective shift I have experienced has been profound. The family trauma that could have destroyed me instead became a source of strength and determination. Learning to advocate for myself and establish healthy boundaries transformed me into a more confident and capable person. I discovered that love is not about control or manipulation. Real family members support your dreams even when they do not understand them or feel threatened by your success. Sometimes you have to choose between keeping peace and keeping your soul, and I chose my soul. That choice led me to everything I was meant to become. Today I am designing prosthetics that give children their mobility back, turning my childhood dream into reality. The irony is not lost on me that learning to walk away from toxicity taught me how to help others walk toward their dreams. Have you ever had to choose between family expectations and your own dreams? Let me know in the comments what challenges you have faced with family support, and tell me how you found the strength to pursue your goals despite opposition. If this story inspired you to stand up for yourself, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories about overcoming family obstacles and finding your own path. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear that their dreams are worth fighting for, even when the fight is against the people who should love them most. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember that sometimes the family you choose becomes stronger than the family you were born into. Keep fighting for your dreams because you deserve every success you are brave enough to pursue.